Good morning, everybody. Um, Saturday morning. It looks like it's sunny out there. I haven't been outside yet. Uh, we're finally getting to the last game tomorrow. St. John Vianney, Rutgers Prep. TOC yesterday. Not that much excitement in yesterday's games. They're pretty much determined early on. Um, but first, me and Doug are going to start off with reviewing the shore teams' state final games. The public schools from last Sunday, and then we'll touch on the TOC, and then we'll get into our postseason all freshman team, all defense team, and our first and second all short teams and player of the year and all that good stuff. So first, I guess we'll touch briefly on St. John Vianney against Immaculate Heart. You stayed there for what, one half or three quarters?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
It was out of hand, but I just didn't really feel like leaving. So,
So, no surprise there. They just did what they did all season, St. John Vianney.
yeah.
We'll talk more about them with their game against Sparta
Mhm.
um, last night. Uh, that was on Saturday. Sunday, the public schools went. I was there all day. Um, Let me see. The first game was close, exciting game. Westfield and Cherokee. But besides that, all the games were pretty much in control. The first
Sorry,
public.
just changing my name. My name's not Stacy, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
All
Doug.
right.
Massaquoi Jefferson, they were the 4 o'clock game. Jefferson hung around for a little while,
Yeah,
right? Let me pull up the details for that game. Oh, don't want that.
yeah.
The fun.
Jefferson hung for a while. I just don't think they were as athletic as Manasquan. They had a big girl that was actually playing pretty well inside, and I think the pace of the game just wiped her out. Um, she sat for long stretches of time. I don't think she was in foul trouble. Um, when she was in, she was dominating inside, and then stretch between the end of the third and the fourth quarter, she sat about 5 minutes of game time. And that's when Manasquan really just blew it open. And not that they were in danger of losing, but I don't think that Jefferson was ready for that pace of play.
Yeah, they kept it competitive for the first half, and Massaquoi just Lisa woke them up, I guess, at halftime. And yeah, the center, she had 12 points for them. Like you said, she looked pretty good out there. Besides the fact that the pace was, she was tired. You said during the game, they kept taking her out.
Yeah,
And Jefferson, they had a couple decent outside shooters too.
yeah. I never saw them, um, but yeah, they weren't a bad team. Right, just your matchup against Manasquan, who's one of the top two teams in the state, and you know, at least in our opinion, top two teams.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, no doubt there. Massaquoi, another Group Two state title. First one a little bit because Manchester won back to back, right? Was it
Yeah,
back to back?
yeah, back to back, and
And there was none.
um,
There was none the last two
none
years,
last year. Yeah,
and the
no,
year
well,
before.
the year before they ended the season
Oh, in the
before
semi,
the
after the semis,
Group
right?
Two final, right?
Yeah. So, the next game was Shore Regional versus University. Um, they knew Shore Regional knew it was going to be uphill battle. University very quick team. Usually in the top 10 to 15 in the state.
Mhm.
Every year. I guess they're going through a little rebuild because they didn't really get the publicity that they usually get. So, but they put it on Shore Regional, and even though Riley, what a trooper, she wanted to be there for her team where she probably should have been in bed with 104 fever. Um, she's still it's not she scored 16 points, which you figure she was going to do, but it was just the fact that she was fighting so hard. You know,
Yeah,
for the loose balls, the rebounds. You could tell. She was hurting out there. Drinking water, doing every foul shot, and
Pedialyte.
but
Yeah, yeah.
but Shore Regional, they have to be happy with this, first state final game. I think is it their first
Yeah,
state final? The first section. They had the first sectional win
sectional title. Yeah.
in a long time. So congrats, Shore Regional. Nothing to be ashamed of with the season they had, and Riley only a junior, so we get to see her one more season. They had a couple young players, role players that
Mhm.
helped. They definitely stepped up throughout the playoffs too. Freshman Reese, had good postseason. Connolly had a pretty good, postseason, with the rebounding and, putting back shots. I think she's only a sophomore. So they got some key pieces coming back, and, hopefully next year, they can make another run.
Yeah, I couldn't stay for that game,
Yes.
but I knew that Riley was hurting.
Hmm.
104 fever the night before, 102 day of. But you expect nothing less from her. She's going to go out and give 100% no matter what. And from what you were saying and other people were saying, you could tell she was just not herself. And but you go out there and you're not yourself with 102 fever and score 16 points. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a great feat. And like you said, congratulations to Will and the team. They'll be back next year. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if they're still in that Group One, uh, Central Jersey Group One.
Central Jersey. Yeah.
So move on to TOC. The two short teams had buys. Uh, so they didn't play till semis, which was last night. First game was Manasquan versus Rutgers Prep. Rutgers Prep, obviously, they came out on fire, on fire. Um, talking to some Manasquan people, they didn't know if the delay, was going to hurt. The gap between games was going to hurt them. But honestly, probably really didn't matter the way Rutgers Prep played.
No, they came out and shot the lights out
Yeah,
in the first quarter.
and they had a
And
lot of turnovers too.
yeah, yeah. Not surprised. Listen, um, Lisa got a lot out of her team this year, and doing it without a true point guard. Um, you know, Mary filling in point guard and Hope playing
Mhm.
point guard. I mean, you got the most out of them. You're gonna neither one is a point guard. So um, I think that kind of hurt them last night. The
Mhm.
Rutgers prep team was quick. Layla Castro started off on fire. And then Lisa went zone, which I think was a good move. She went 1-3-1,
Mhm.
and then Rutgers prep shot the lights out. They hit 7 threes in the first half.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's one of those days where not that you guys played bad, but Rutgers prep played exceptional.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen. It doesn't mean that on any given night, Manasquan can't beat Rutgers Prep. It's just last night, Rutgers Prep played better than Manasquan.
Yep. Yeah. It's not good when the fifth option is knocking down two threes in the first quarter.
Yeah, and the
We knew what.
girl, yeah, and the girl that their big girl who doesn't really play inside, plays outside, was hitting everything.
Yeah.
She barely missed Bates,
Yeah.
and Manasquan did what they could. I think they did a good job defensively, but when the other team's hitting every shot, they probably shot 70+% from the field for the night. Manasquan missed a lot of layups early. They had a couple clean looks and missed. A lot of turnovers, but again, I don't know if the bye hurt them or not. I would assume not. I mean,
Yeah.
an extra day or two of rest is not a bad thing after 30 games. Um, but you just ran into a team last night that on that given night was better than you were, and
Mhm.
it happens. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Yeah, the way Rutgers prep shot was, it was, and it wasn't just one player. It was
Right.
all of them. How often do you see at this level see everybody, not missing? The surprising part was to me they missed quite a few free throws,
Right.
especially early on. Mascon was lucky that it didn't get out of hand early, because Rutgers prep was missing, some foul shots,
Yep.
which they really could have opened that game up in the first half. But needless to say, great season from Manasquan. Um,
Absolutely.
great. 4 years for the seniors. I know I said it 2 weeks ago. Brooke, Dorothy, Georgia,
Hmm.
Mary. All going on to play at the next level. They're all going to have successful careers. All very smart. All very smart
Yeah,
girls. Two of them going to Ivy League. Um,
yeah.
and
The Holy Cross and
and
Stevens, and
Stevens. They're the pretty hard academic schools, so it tells
I,
you the
I
intelligence of these kids.
I'd say their parents are very proud. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. To me, these are the four that I followed since they were freshmen, and it's going to be disappointing not seeing them next season.
yeah.
But
And having seen them play, and we were lucky enough to play them a couple times.
yes,
Morgan's freshman, sophomore,
hmm
junior year before they
shut everything
shut the
down.
season down. So yeah, I got to see them up close and personal and watch their growth from freshman year to senior year. And obviously, Mary started at St. Rose, had a good freshman year, came to Manasquan. But yeah, it's just a great group of kids, great group of parents.
hmm
Getting to know some of them over the season, it was an enjoyable season.
Yeah, yeah. So I know the Donnellys and Heineys will still see with
Yeah,
the
the
two
younger
the
ones
two
coming
the,
up.
the two Shannon and Shay freshmen this year. So but
And a younger
and
Hollowell too, right?
and yeah, Jordan will be there probably. I think next year. I think she's an eighth grader. So we'll still be seeing them. But the next game, St. John Vianney for Sparta. There's never really a question. You know, um, uh, Zoe and Madison, the chemistry those two have, just knowing where each other. Sometimes I think Zoe's passes, she's not even looking, she knows where Madison is.
Yeah,
It's just so
she's
impressive.
she's got such a feel for the court and where her teammates are. And she did it this year with no chemistry built up over the last 2 years. So
Yeah.
she came into a program that is a high level program without her and just made them better. And last night it was just on display. I mean, Madison had 7 assists. I bet you 5 or 6 were to Zoe. Um,
Yeah.
and just the way that team plays is incredible. But let's give Sparta credit. I don't think Sparta could have played any better than they did yesterday. They played a really good game.
Yeah.
They didn't back down. They kept coming at them.
hmm
Um, it's just a matter of not having enough talent, which every team in New Jersey is going to fail at that against St. John Vianney.
Yep.
And but Sparta played a great game. I don't like I said, I don't think they could have done any better. They had a great game plan. They scored inside. They hit outside shots. When you play a better team, you just to be within 22 points of St. John Vianney's
Mhm.
not bad.
Yeah, and St. John Vianney got it to 30, and they were able to get it back down to 20. Sparta, and the starters were still in at that point when they got it
Mm-hmm.
back down to 20, and then just you weren't going to get any they were going to clamp down. I think Dawn called the timeout, and they
Yeah.
clamped down a little bit.
The
But
but Sparta has two good juniors. I know we don't cover much of the state, but
yeah,
McCurry and Sweeney, yeah,
yeah,
two
McCurry at
very good players.
24. Um, Sweeney, only had 9, which is probably a little lower than what she, averaging. But watching her in the group finals, she's a shooter.
Mhm.
Sweeney's really good. You know, St. John Vianney just did a good job, keeping her at bay. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they'll be a
McCurry,
good team. They'll be back in probably in the same spot next year, I would
yeah,
imagine.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, they were fun. I enjoyed watching them in the group finals, Sparta. So
Mhm.
a fun team to watch. So tomorrow, 4 o'clock up at Rutgers, St. John Vianney, Rutgers Prep rematch from the last week of the season. I think it was the regular season.
Yeah.
I think it was up at Kane. St. John Vianney won by 39. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deficit. Hopefully not for the fans that are going.
I
But
mean, let's say Rutgers Prep has improved since the last week of the season. Okay. And we know St. John Vianney hasn't gotten worse. So let's say we give them 10 more points. It's still going to be a 20 in the
yeah,
20s.
yeah,
It's not, I don't think it's going to be closer than that. They just don't have enough to match up with St. John Vianney. And I don't care what anybody says.
yeah.
It's just not happening.
Yeah.
Um, you know, like I said, I think it'll end up somewhere in the 20s. And I think it's just the foregone conclusion that we said at the beginning of the season. Everybody's playing for second place.
Yeah. Um, and going into next year, I don't know what St. John, I know a couple players St. John Vianney has coming in, but um, if that was Ashley's younger sister walking around,
She was
she
as
looked
tall as
tall.
I was. I thought it
She,
was her older sister. I'm like, wow,
I
that
don't,
must be
I
her
don't,
older sister.
I don't know if she has an older. I know she has a younger sister, but if that's her younger sister, she's taller than Ashley.
She's almost my height. I'm
Yeah.
six
So,
six.
oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
So figure she's going there. I know a couple other players that are going there.
And they have a lot coming back. You
Yeah,
know,
they all. Megan's Ashley. I mean, you're losing the three-time player of
Madison.
the
Yep,
year,
yep.
Madison, but Zoe's gonna fill that role, no problem.
Right.
With the season she had, nobody's talking about it. She had just as good a season as Madison.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just when your teammates and your teammates a two-time player of the year.
yeah, yeah, and that one play, the two plays stuck out to me last night. One was Madison game, one was St. John Vianney.
Mhm.
St. John Vianney was when Zoe looked like the defensive back from NFL, picked that ball up, flew down the court like a pick six,
Yeah.
for the layup. She's pretty quick on defense, and when we go through her stats, when I was entering the stats for all short teams and all that, I was like, wow, she had a lot of steals.
Hmm.
And I think it was right before the half, or maybe end of the third. I think it was halftime though. Ball was going out of bounds, and Georgia made that hustle play, tapped it
Hmm.
right back in, and I forgot who finished it. It might have been Hope,
Yeah,
who
I think so.
finished it, and it cut the lead down to single digits. That
Mhm.
basket, unfortunately, I think.
That was as close as they got, I
I
think.
think
Yeah.
Rutgers Prep came down and hit a three-pointer right before
Hmm.
the buzzer. So those are two plays that hustle plays that don't get recognized by St. John Vianney and Manasquan.
Right.
But good luck tomorrow, obviously St. John Vianney, because we're sure guys.
Yes, we
um,
are. But I guess I'm supposed to admit that, right? I'm
yeah,
a sure guy.
yeah. But hopefully it's a good game that everybody enjoys.
Yeah.
So now on to the fun part, guys. We are going to reveal our teams. Actually, me and Doug did not do separate teams. We went out last night and finalized our all freshman team, all defense, and all short teams.
Hmm.
Our freshman year, defensive player of the year, and our player of the year, which the player of the year is not going to be much of a surprise. Sorry, I got the hiccups. So, we'll start with the freshman year. I'll just say the player. I'll give the stats that I have, and then you could say a few words about each player too. Um,
Excuse me.
First I'm gonna read them and then I'll pull up. Um, or should I just show the screen? Yeah, I'll just show
Yeah,
it. I'll
show.
read it.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to look at us anyway. Show the
No.
screen.
Okay, there we go. All right, all freshman team, and then we'll talk about the freshman year after that. Uh, Tessa Carmen,
You're
RBC.
giving away half our defense.
I
That's
know, I
that's all
know,
right.
that's all right. um, Freshman, unfortunately, RBC and Rainey don't put complete stats in,
Yeah.
but just trust us that they deserve to be there. Tessa Carmen, RBC, Sylvia Note, not I don't know how to pronounce that.
It's in the tone.
Natone.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. From Rumson, Haley Poser, from Rainey, Riley from Brick. I've talked about Riley quite a bit on here. Emma Thornton from Barnegat, and Kira McNow from Howell, who is Brooke's cousin from Jackson Memorial. And the freshman of the year, Christina Liggio from RBC. So let's talk about her first. to me, she from day one when I first started playing the WOBM, she just impressed me with her body language, handling pressure. Did not play. She didn't play like a freshman. I mean, no,
No,
pretty much none of these kids play like freshmen. Consistent all season. She finished with 247 points. Um, she was very good on defense. So I'm curious how many steals, she actually finished with. Um, just really good player, and could shoot the lights out from outside.
yep. And when Justine went out for a big portion of the season, Christina stepped right in and
Yeah.
RBC. Of course you lose stuff when you lose one of the best players in New Jersey, but
Mm-hmm.
Christina came in and played like a seasoned vet. She
Mm-hmm.
handled herself well. And when Justine came back, it was just another added dimension to that team. The way she played all season was phenomenal. So congratulations.
Yeah, and moving on to her teammate Tessa Carmen, probably would have been my second choice, for freshman of the year. Another one from RBC. Never really, never really played like a freshman out there. Always, always looked confident. She finished with 205 points. I'm sure she had decent block numbers as well and steals,
Rebounds, yeah.
and you definitely rebounds. Like I said, unfortunately, RBC does not input those. But RBC is looking good. We know they have a strong class coming in, but with these two going to be 1 year under the belt, playing some pretty big games as freshmen. Good things for these two going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe's cupboard is not bare. He's losing a lot, but the cupboard's not bare.
No. Sylvia from Rumson, one of those players that stuck out to me since the WOBM when the upperclassmen were struggling in the WOBM, the games I was at. She seemed not to struggle. She finished with 206 points, 130 rebounds, 25 steals, 46 assists, 4 blocks. Guys, I don't think the block numbers are accurate with most of these.
Yeah.
When I was doing the all defense team, I'll talk about that when we talk about those players. But I text somebody last night. I was like, "There's no way she only had 17 blocks on the season." I
No,
think she
and
had
and yeah, you go through the stats, and it's hard because some teams have students doing stats, some teams have coaches doing stats.
some teams have
You don't
huddle
know
doing the
who's
stats.
paying attention. Some people don't do stats, right?
Yeah,
But this is based on not only stats but
what we
games that
saw.
Nick and I saw this year. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
um, games that we saw these players play well in.
Hmm.
Um, again, you want to argue with us, that's fine, but this is our opinion. This is what we saw
Yeah,
throughout the season. So it's not just based on stats, but stats, of course, would help prove our point.
yeah. Um, but yeah, like I said early on, when the team was, struggling early, I thought she was a bright spot on that team, especially being a freshman. Um, and then once the upperclassmen, once they got back into their rhythm after their losing streak, um, she kind of stepped back a little more of a role player. But the fact that she was able to help the team, like that, and another great outside shooter.
And that
Um,
that New Providence game coming down the stretch, she was solid.
yeah,
Hit a couple big shots, I think, right before overtime or in overtime, and just the build up to that finish as a freshman, very impressive.
yeah. Our next freshman, Haley Poser from Rainey. Finished with 206 points. Unfortunately, they don't input. Said she only had 5 assists, which I strongly doubt. Um, Very consistent season. They're pretty well balanced team with their scoring. I know Raquel probably led them in scoring, but she had some pretty good games. She was our player of the week once or twice. I don't remember, but for a division player of the week,
Mhm.
I know she did win it. One of the big games. It's she had 12 against Rumson. Uh, the second game, and then in states she ended up having 13 and 10. So this big stage in state playoffs didn't didn't back her down. Um, so another school, a lot of young talent. Sarah will be a senior next year. So you know, next year's the year. These girls. The core is going to be juniors with Raquel and Lipinski, and then you got the freshmen that'll be sophomores. So I'm expecting big things, and they're in a tougher division, which
Yep,
I know they wanted.
they wanted
So
that. So yeah,
so
but they definitely have the talent to produce in that division. And Haley Poser as a freshman, is a great shooter. I mean, we saw her, knock down some shots. So yeah,
oh yeah,
they got a lot.
she's a great outside shooter.
Yeah, yep. So they got a lot coming back also.
So next, Riley from Brick, 279, 108 rebounds, 66 steals, 59 assists, 3 blocks. To me, the things that stand out: the first Manchester game, she had 20 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
Lacey, pretty, a team that hovered around, the back end, top 10. She had 18 against Lacey. Um, and I think, where's the other Manchester game? I think she had, uh, or the second Manchester game, she only scored 7. But a lot of games with 20 points, being it's tough being the focal point of the offense as a freshman. But,
Right.
she stepped into the role. Um, it's going to be exciting to see her, develop more, and hopefully put Brick on the map, because there's a couple other freshmen that are decent players, and, with her leading the way, they can only go up, and you could see the improvement Brick already had.
Yeah.
What they finished with. I mean, they finished 8-17. I think 2 years ago. I think they had like 3 wins. So, um, and obviously, I'm a big fan of Kevin over there, and what he's trying to do. Building Brick basketball, in the town. Because Brick's a soccer town.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wrestling
So,
and soccer.
so the next player we went with is from Barnegat, Emma Thornton, and she just put up some monster.
Yeah.
275, 233, 44 steals, 9 blocks, 29 assists as a freshman. Another team that has, their leader, Carol McCoy, she's back next, she's only a junior. So, with her and Emma, exciting things next year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm just pulling up. Her first Manchester game, 16 and 16, she had. Um, Lacey, 10 and 6. Second Manchester game, 14 and 13.
Yeah.
So, Donovan, 15 and 9. So she's done it against the better
Against the big
competition.
girls. Yeah. Yep.
And then, round one, they were the 15 seed in the States. They almost upset the 2 seed,
Right.
Cinemas. She had 17 and 7 in
Yeah.
that game. So, they got a player down there, and I'll look forward to, see how she develops over the next 3 years.
Yep.
Last, a player that stood out to me, in a few games I saw, Howell, Kira McCown, center. She finished with 206 points, 224 rebounds, 43 steals, 17 assists, 57 blocks. Um, I just, consistent inside,
Mm-hmm.
um, for a freshman. Probably needs to get a little bit better defensively, which that'll
Yeah.
come.
Yep.
Um,
Most freshmen do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to pull up some of her games. She had 7 and 13 against Marlboro. Um, and you gotta remember, she wasn't the primary. Mackenzie Green was
Greg
the
Green.
primary scorer,
Yep.
and Avery.
Mm-hmm.
They were the two, and Carrie, they were the focus for offense. So the fact that she put up these numbers, kind of being the third or fourth option. 13 and 16 against Thomas Reese. Thomas Reese has some decent, they play some
Yep.
solid defense underneath. So it's exciting, to see how she develop. I believe she's at sure shots for this coming AAU season,
Okay.
so it'd be good to see her develop. All right. I gotta stop sharing this so I could scroll down. Just give me a second. All right, we're gonna do defense. Obviously, if people are really paying attention, they saw. All right, I was good here.
And listen, those girls that are on this all freshman team, congratulations. There were plenty of others
Oh, we had
that
a
had,
list.
I mean, listen, you could go down the list. There were so many good freshmen, and
Yeah,
some didn't even play.
yeah,
Some that came in
yeah,
highly touted and
yeah.
maybe got some minutes early, didn't get minutes late.
Yeah,
You
like
thought maybe,
Olivia Shawn. Olivia
uh,
over
sh-
Matt. Yeah,
yeah,
she impressed us in the WOBM, and
yeah, she got minutes there, and then as the season went on, her minutes dwindled. But that's a kid next year you look forward to, and Caroline Holloway improved
yeah,
as the season went on.
yes,
So, I mean, there's a lot of young talent in the short conference.
yeah, yeah. Just the last few spots, me, for all these teams, me and Doug last night, we spent quite a big time, figuring out who we wanted to put in these spots because there's so much good talent, in the shore. So and so a lot of bright future, and especially what I hear we're gonna have even a harder time for the freshman team next year. So all
Yeah.
right, we're gonna do all defense. Our defensive player of the year, Mary Donnelly. Um, I'll just read everybody, then we'll go back to Mary. All defensive team: Ashley O'Connor, SJV, Charlie Rosen, Rumson Fairhaven, Amber Williams, Jackson Memorial, Maya Bryan, Manchester, Georgia Heine, Manasquan, and Haven Dora, Trinity Hall. So
Notice something. They're all seniors.
yeah, yeah. When I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
inputting that, I was like, oh, they were all seniors.
You
Make
say
makes it
your freshmen have to improve on their defense. Well, you
yeah,
most do coming into high school, and then as you see, as they get
yeah,
older and learn the game and
yeah,
get stronger, this is what happens.
yeah. So let's start with Mary. Um, she, just a phenomenal job all season guarding the number one. So I'll let you talk about Mary.
Yeah, she got the tough assignment every game. I mean, like we've talked about it before. Having to guard a quick guard like Hannah Hidalgo,
Mm-hmm.
and then having to guard Justine Passat,
Mm-hmm.
and then having to guard Michaela Blake's. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you name it, and it's not you go anywhere to range 6'4" to 5'8",
Yeah.
quick guard to
Yeah.
jump shooter to
Yeah.
post player, and Mary guarded them all, and
Yeah.
she did a great job all season.
Yeah. So congratulations, Mary. When she played at St. Rose freshman year, the minutes she got, I thought she was such a spark defensively. Hey, she knew on that team she wasn't going to be, especially her freshman year, she wasn't going to be the focal point for offense. But you got Bryn Lithgow,
Yeah.
Abby, Andrews. But she knew her role there. She came in off the bench. She would There was so many times I would say, should make a steal, and that would change the game. That one play would just change.
Right.
If St. Rose was struggling, that would change the game. And it just continued her whole, her full career. So congratulations, Mary, on being our defensive player of the year. Ashley O'Connor, um, she had 151 points. I put all the stats in: 83 rebounds, 51 steals, 104 assists, and 8 blocks. Um, but she would shut down some of the good best scorers in the shore.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah. That's 4 years of Ashley shutting down people. Um, Whenever somebody got hot, Dawn would switch her off onto him, and the person would go ice cold. So,
yeah,
another great defensive player, um, heading up to Fordham,
yeah,
and I'm sure she'll have a great career there.
yeah. I agree. Next, we went Charlie Rosen with Rumson. Um, just phenomenal all around player. Does everything for your team. 157 points, 85 rebounds, which for her size, 85 rebounds is pretty pretty impressive. And we saw Rumson quite a bit. She was in there. It wasn't like
Yeah.
these were long rebounds. She was in there mixing it up. Um, 32 steals, 85 assists, 5 blocks. Just another one, usually covers, one of the top scorers on the
Mhm.
opposing team.
She's one of those kids that getting to do this year and not having a daughter and going to all her games, getting to go to more games, was one of the kids I really enjoyed watching play because she plays so
Yeah.
tough, hard nosed defense,
Hmm.
makes the right pass at the right time, gets her teammates involved. She's a point guard that thinks setting your teammates up first instead of scoring.
Yep.
Um, just a true point guard. And I think I've said it before. I don't think there's a better true point guard in the short conference than
Hmm.
Charlie. So just a great year, great career, and yeah,
Yeah.
there's not much more you can say.
Next, we want Amber Williams, 291, 298, 50 steals, 13 assists, 77 blocks. Just first of all, so happy, full season she played, healthy, um, and she was such a force underneath. With and not even the shots that she blocked, causing players to put up shots earlier than they wanted to, forcing
Right.
players to change direction. I mean, you saw Jackson probably one or two more times than I did. Um, so you could probably speak a little bit better on Amber.
Yeah, just the way she affects the game, you know, and it's not always on offense. She just on defense, her presence in the middle alters shots. She gets a lot of deflections, a lot of blocks. A lot of her blocks lead to runouts for the guards. Um, she rebounds well. Just like you said, happy to see her have a healthy season. And on the NYU, it's
Yeah,
a great program. They had a great season this year.
yeah,
Elite Eight. I'm not sure they made the Final Four, but I know at least Elite Eight in the Division 3 um, championship. So let's hope she can stay healthy for 4 years at NYU.
yeah. She joining Chloe Teeter up there.
Yeah.
So a couple short girls. Next player, Amaya Bray. She had 405 points, 187 rebounds, 61 steals, 46 assists, 11 blocks. I'll let you talk because you definitely saw Manchester more than I did.
Yeah. I early on in their career, like you said, when you start as a freshman, first thing you notice is that they're not ready to play defense. And there were times Amaya, her freshman, sophomore year, I, I could say it because be honest, I'm always honest that she didn't really give all that much of an effort. She worried about scoring more than playing defense. When she realized that her defense was going to lead to her offense, her game changed. I mean, you see 405 points as a senior,
Yeah.
and a lot of that was led by her deflections and steals that she got. And we talk about off the ball defense.
Hmm.
Um, she's one of the best off the ball defenders. She sees the court. She reads passes very well. Um, and this year she clamped down on people, and you know I, I think the last 2 years she changed her game, just thinking not just about scoring, defense leading the scoring, and her game took off, and she's going to FDU next year,
Hmm.
and wish her nothing but the best.
Yes, great family there, and uh, great. She had a really great senior year. Next, Georgia Heine from Manasquan, 297, 178, 58 steals, 70 assists, and 17 blocks. And I'm calling nonsense on the 17 blocks because the
Yeah,
games I went
plenty
to,
more
she
than
had
that.
seven. She had 17 blocks.
Right.
She had more than that. I think she had six in one game that we were at. During one of the games me and you were at. Um, but she's been doing on the defensive end since her freshman year. You know, uh, usually, covering, since Mary was covering the number one option, she's always covering number two. If Mary wasn't there, Georgia, she would have done just as good a job, you know. Um, 2 years ago, it was a game that really stuck out. 3 years ago, her sophomore year, Ryan Taylor was going off in the first half, or first quarter. Lisa switched Georgia on her, and I think Ryan Taylor got one shot off in 3 quarters after that. So it just tells you what kind of defender she is. And, she's one of the, perfect team players. She
Mhm.
does everything right on the court, makes the extra pass, fights for the offensive rebound, fights for the defense. Like I said, that hustle play yesterday that really stood out. And that's just her, throughout her career.
Right.
Going on to UPenn, think she's gonna have great things uh, up there, over there.
Oh
That's over
yeah.
there. That's over there. Can't wait to go see her play at UPenn. So, yeah, good luck, Georgia.
Mhm. Absolutely.
And next we went with Haven Door, 309, 83, 86 steals, 99 assists. Blocks really weren't inputted
Mhm.
for anybody at Trinity. One of those players, high motor, always high motor, and fast. Obviously, you could see a lot of steals during the season, and she's been like that her whole career.
Yeah. And going on to Princeton to play lacrosse,
Yeah,
and you know, yeah, and it was good because you saw the emergence of Trinity Hall over
yeah,
the last couple of years, and Haven was the leader of that team, and
yeah.
she graduates, and now you have Nina will step in as the leader, but I think Haven set the precedence there that that team's going to be tough, and they're going to play defense, and they're going to play basketball the right way.
Yeah, they're very tough all around. Not just Haven. 1 through 5, they play tough defense inside and out. So, and so congrats to Haven. Going to Princeton to play lacrosse. That's an impressive
Mhm.
accomplishment. So, congratulations to our all defense team and Mary for Defense Player of the Year. All right, now we're gonna go to All Shore. Oh, come on.
Like you're having another earthquake over
Yeah, I'm sorry.
there.
Come on. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. In case anybody wonders, I just woke up. Now it's been an hour. All right, share. All right. Surprise, surprise. Madison St. Rose Player of the Year. We'll talk about her first, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much
Six,
else to say
yeah,
that we
six
haven't
hundred,
already said.
672 points, and she still has one game to go. This was updated, so this does count. Um, Yesterday, 158 rebounds. That's why St. John Vianney, Manasquan, St. Rose does a very good job.
Jackson.
Shore does a good job. Jackson does a great job. Rumson does a very good
Mhm.
job. Glenn and Donovan, they get the stats in within like an hour or two of the game. So they do great jobs.
Yep.
I just want to, recognize. And there's other coaches. Brick does a pretty good job. Um, so anyway, 672, 158 rebounds, 109 steals, 83 assists, 12 blocks. Yeah, these stats were up by the time we got to Buffalo Wild Wings yesterday. So that's how quick
Yeah.
they get it up. So I mean, like Doug said, what else could we say about Madison? Gonna be 3-time NJ.com Player of the Year, first time ever in New Jersey. And she deserves it. Getting shafted out of the McDonald's All American, and
Jordan
now
Brand.
that Jordan Brand game. Um, Listen, great kid, might be the future president of the United States. I don't know what she wants to study,
Mhm.
but she could. She's a kid that's going to do whatever she wants, and
Absolutely.
congratulations on a great career. Coming to the end tomorrow at St. John Vianney and bigger and better at Princeton.
Yep. And this is a kid that could have went and played anywhere, but
Yeah,
education's important, and
yeah,
you don't get much better education than Ivy League schools, and Princeton arguably top one or two in the Ivy League. So congratulations to Madison on everything, not just basketball, life, being a
yeah,
great kid, going on to Princeton, and success will be at her doorstep the
yeah,
rest of her life.
yeah. So Madison, congratulations on a great career. It was great getting to watch you play and develop over the last few seasons.
And
And
now, again, Nick and I talked last night before we, you know, do our all short team that um, obviously there are some players you don't see on here that are
all
some of the
short
best
play.
players in the state, and but we took into account time missed for the
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
and games missed, and um, you know, we had to kind of include that in the games we saw.
Yeah.
Um, but again, you got a girl like Justine Passat. I'll say it because
Yeah. Yeah.
she's one of the top two players in the state of New Jersey. She's a nationally ranked player. She made the McDonald's All American team in Jordan Brand Classic. She's going to have a standout career at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm very happy about that, being a former volunteer myself. And but her game is built for the college game. I mean, she can
Yeah.
shoot the ball from anywhere. She can take the ball to the basket. She plays great defense. I mean, her game's going to blossom in college. Her not making our first team all shore or second team all shore, and we took into account time missed, and Nina, same thing at Trinity
Same thing,
Hall. But
Nina. Yeah.
listen, you got a full ride to Tennessee. I really
No.
think. Do you really think she cares if she makes Doug Brustman and Nick Lowe's
No.
all short team? I mean, everybody knows she's a great player.
Yeah.
We just it is what it is. But we recognize the girls that played a full season, and we saw that caught our eye and impressed us throughout the year. So
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Perfectly said. Now, first team we'll do first. Obviously, Mary Donnelly, Manasquan, Georgia Heine, Manasquan. Uh, we don't really need to talk about them again, but finishing out great careers, and both moving on to bigger and better things. Uh, Riley Dreyhus, Shore Regional, 680 points, 235 rebounds, 106 steals. Don't know how many tip passes she had either. Probably should have been considered for the whole defensive team, but we didn't even bring her up.
right.
86 assists, 16 blocks. She just did everything for that team. Led them to sectional title.
Mm-hmm.
Brought them into the Group 1 championship game. If it wasn't for Madison getting some extra games, she would have had the most points in it, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but probably got also taking account Madison gets pulled a lot late in the
Yeah,
games
yeah,
where
yeah,
where
yeah.
Riley's in
Right.
every minute for fourth quarter. So, but great season for Riley, and her heart for that team, you know, she puts so much. She puts a lot of pressure on her for that team,
Yeah.
and you could see it. She wants to do everything to help that team win. And the biggest standout, I don't care about the points she scored, is when a teammate of hers does something good, she's the first one celebrating it like they won it. And I know I've said that on a broken record, but to me, that's the type of teammate I want to play with.
Yeah.
So
And someone that's gonna go out there with 102 fever and give her
yeah,
all. And
yeah,
listen, she has a lot of pressure on her.
yeah,
It's no secret.
yeah,
It's a small school.
yeah.
They're a softball, field
It'll
hockey,
be lacrosse.
football school.
Yeah.
Um, and
She's trying to
this
put them on
kid,
the map for basketball.
exactly. And we talked about it before. There were the Wests back in the early 2000s, and they
Yeah.
had great careers at Shore. But this kid's special, and
Mhm.
every coach recognizes it.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of pressure on her. She got a town, a school, a
Mhm.
team that she's carrying, and
Mhm.
maybe it caught up to her at the end of the season. I don't know if that had anything to do with
Yeah.
her being sick, but you know what? The kid gave her all season, and there's
Yeah.
nothing bad you can say about that.
No, no. Um, Next we went with Julia Corsentino from Rumson, a junior. Finished with 494, 137 rebounds, 41 steals, 52 assists, 2 blocks. Who knows if the blocks are accurate? But another warrior, the physical abuse she take driving to the hoop and stuff, doesn't give up. Um, she really impressed me, especially the second half of the season when they started rolling and doing it against some really tough teams as well. But she had a great season, and we're lucky enough we're gonna get to watch her play one more season in the
Yeah.
Shore.
Yep. Like you said, the thing that stood out to me was her toughness. I mean, she got beat up game after game. Every game we were at,
Oh,
she'd be
she
on
was
the
on the ground.
floor,
Yeah.
and she never complained. She got back up. She'd drive again.
Yep.
never just a constant motor and
Yeah.
just keeps going. And again, like you said, we got another year out of her, so that's going to be exciting to
Yeah.
watch.
We actually have another year out of the next person. That's a typo there. Zoe Brooks from St. John Vianney.
Junior.
She is a junior. If it wasn't for Madison St. Rose, I'm not afraid to say it. Should be my player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
565 points. So look at that total between the two of them.
Yeah.
Backcourt. And then add Ashley O'Connor's, 150, or what she finished with, 138 rebounds, 119 steals, 118 assists, 14 blocks. And, we touched on it when we talked about her and Madison's chemistry. Sometimes I don't know how she just, you said it after the Saddle River game, you know, her, court vision and just, not just knowing and trusting where her teammates are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Her passing, wow. And then, she had some, going back to last night, some unbelievable drives, that you'd be like, wow, how did she finish that? So another
Yeah.
player, luckily enough, we get one more season with.
And I believe still uncommitted. So it'd be
Yes,
exciting to follow that
through the
recruiting
summer.
process for the next year.
Yeah. Congratulations, Zoe. Another Zoe Mayfie from Jackson Memorial, another junior. 461, 219, 51 steals, 102 assists. So she, gets everybody involved, and 43 blocks. Just, Jackson wasn't expecting to have the season they had this season, and
Right.
her and Amber, are the reason, they had such a great season.
She is the prototypical Coach Goodell player. Kid that grinds it out, hard nosed, improves as the year goes on,
Hmm.
has improved her whole career, and is a leader. And you can tell by the numbers. I mean, the season she had, and led Jackson to a sectional title again, and just a great year. And we get one more year out of her also.
Another tough player, the Monroe game, throwing up before the game, throwing up at halftime, but wanted to be there for her team, and I think she finished with double double that game, and that was a tight game. Monroe will not go away. So yeah, so congratulations to our first team. Now on to our second team. First, Maya Evans, Neptune senior, 386, 82 rebounds, 95 steals, 56 assists, and 3 blocks. This is all off NJ.com.
Mhm.
Only saw Neptune once, but wow, did she have a game that game
Yeah,
against Tom's River North.
yeah.
Um, just, complete player, played against, they were against St. Rose for 2 seasons, then St. Rose Manasquan. Oh no, 2 years ago they weren't in that division, but going up against St. John Vianney, RBR this season, and last year going up against St. Rose and Manasquan in that division. Doing it against some pretty good teams, Amaya. And do you remember where she's committed to?
I don't know if she is committed. Is she?
Yeah, I got it.
And listen, you know Neptune's history. They have had a history of great guards.
Hmm.
Some WNBA players, standout WNBA players, and but this Amaya's right up there with them. Just
Ah,
a
she's going to Iona.
okay, yeah, great
Yeah,
school,
yeah.
another high academic school, and I'm sure she'll have a great career there.
Um, Next up, we got a couple Donovan girls. First, we went with Olivia Conroy. Senior finished with 388, 193 rebounds, 54 steals, 59 assists, 7 blocks. Just one of those players. Another one that could probably play defensive back. To many balls
Yeah,
she picked off this season. Um, had some really good games against some big teams. Obviously she's going to D1, no D2. She's going to Westchester for
Westchester.
soccer, which is one of the top D2 programs for soccer. Probably could play basketball too if she wanted to.
Yeah,
She had her, the last 2 seasons she really emerged as, a top player in the shore. So,
yeah, her development as a basketball player has been phenomenal.
yeah.
I known Olivia since she was 6, 7 years old.
Hmm.
She played soccer with Morgan for a couple of years when they were younger, and just to watch her development. We always knew she was going to be a good soccer player. She had a nose for the ball, but her basketball development's been great, and it's been fun to watch over the last 4 years.
Yep. And another player that we were considering all defense because
Yeah.
you know her on the ball defense and her off the ball defense really really good. Next we went Gabby Ross, Donovan Jr., another player we get to watch for another season. 456 points, 94 rebounds, 62 steals, 38 assists, 2 blocks. Um, Game that stands out, obviously, dropping 36 on Long Island Lutheran.
Mhm.
Helping keep Donovan. They had the lead going into the fourth, I believe,
Yeah.
and where Long Island Lutheran, was able to defeat Manasquan pre- pretty easily.
If
So
you look back through her big games, if you go through the schedule and look at her big games,
mhm,
she produced in every one of them.
yeah,
Another kid that I like, when she commits to playing defense, can be a,
yeah,
a shutdown defender.
yeah.
And
Another one that
the
tips a
way she
lot of
played
balls.
defense in the RBC game was phenomenal. I wish I want to see that every time
Yeah.
out of her. And another kid, junior, uncommitted, could probably go play wherever she wants, and
Hmm.
be fun to watch that for the next year.
Yeah. Next, we went Danny Schlesinger from Marlboro Senior. 351 points, 217 rebounds, 44 steals, 44 assists, 2 blocks. Just a player that did everything for Marlboro, and key reasons for the turnaround that they had, midseason.
Yeah. And watching her early in the season in the Christmas tournament, she struggled, and then she got her game back on track, and finished out her senior year in pretty good style.
I just want to pull something up about her. I think her numbers have been so. This is her over the career, and her first 2 years were tough because remember they did the rotation. Basically, they had three hockey lines.
Right. Yeah.
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 So did freshman year 229 and 149. Sophomore year 333 and 183. Junior year only 9 games because of COVID.
Yeah.
117 and 63, and then 351. So she's been consistent all 4 years.
Right.
And imagine, what her numbers could have been her freshman or sophomore year if they didn't go so deep on that bench.
And if she played more than 9 games last year as a
Yeah.
junior.
So
So
great,
yeah, that's pretty phenomenal when you look
great,
at it in that light. Yeah.
yeah, great career Danny had. And our last two spots, two Homedale girls. First, Abby Ferguson, 328, 195, 43 steals, 75 assists, which she led the team in assists and for being the bit, and 16 blocks. Going on to Colgate, right? She's going
Hmm.
Colgate?
Yep.
Colgate. Um, Great way to end the season. Career at Homedale. Pretty great season. Um, yeah, I'll let you.
Yeah. You know, we saw her play a couple times, and she had a good game against Tom's River North. I
Hmm.
was at that game.
Yep.
Then the game at Homedale at the coach's choice.
Yeah.
I thought she came out and played a little timid, but
Hmm.
then she came back against Manasquan and had a
Yeah.
great game.
Very aggressive game that game.
Yeah, so I look forward to what she's going to be able to do in college, because she's got a college ready body, and
Yep.
and you know be excited.
She has range. She can
Yeah.
shoot from outside,
Yep.
inside. And there's some games. You saw she was able to go to the hoop at ease.
Yep.
No matter who was covering her. So
She's got a good pull up jumper too, mid range
yeah,
jumper.
yeah, we
So
saw
yeah.
that quite
Yep.
quite often. The next, we went with Alexandra
Lucopolis. Say it one time.
Lukopoulos.
There you go.
Only a junior, so we get to see her another season. To me, she was very consistent all season. Finished with 364 points, 130 rebounds, 52 steals, 53 assists, 11 blocks. Um, just like I said, consistent all season. That Morris Catholic game when
Yeah.
she was the only one to me early, definitely early on. That was being aggressive,
Mhm.
attacking, not afraid to shoot, and uh, She won Player of the Week once or twice for us for Division Player of the Week. So definitely look forward to seeing her develop for another season.
Yep.
So yeah, so everyone, that's it. That's our all short teams. Congratulations, and it took me and Doug longer than I thought it was going to take us.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
That's
we had lists of players, for every category, and it was tough eliminating
Mhm.
some players. So, but some things I weigh, it's definitely the games we see live.
Right.
Um, and to me, impact a team. Where would that team be without that particular player?
Yeah.
And I do the, all the soccer people, that play basketball, they know that's what I do for soccer. Where would that team be without that particular player? So,
Yeah. It's a culmination of an exciting season.
yeah.
And like I said, everybody has an opinion,
Hmm.
and like you just said, everybody looks at something different. I
Yeah.
might watch something for something that other people don't watch for,
Hmm.
that I think is important. Other people might look at something else that I don't find as important, and that they rate that a little higher. Some
Hmm.
people just look at stats, and that's fine.
Hmm.
But everybody's opinion counts. Everybody
Yeah.
has an opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right and you're wrong.
Nope.
Um, and at the end of the season, everybody puts out an end of the season awards, and I respect everybody that puts it out. It's tough. It's not an easy job, as we
No.
found out last night.
Yeah.
It's not an easy job, and somebody's always going to be upset.
Hmm.
A lot of kids are going to be excited. Some kids are going to be upset. It's
Hmm.
just the way it is. It's nothing personal. I always say that it's
Yeah.
nothing personal. It's it. We love watching all these kids. We wish nothing but the best for all
Yeah.
these kids, and we want success for everybody. Um, but it's nothing personal. It's what we saw. It's what we value as a player. Um, and everybody else, other people might value other things, and their
Hmm.
teams might look totally different than ours, and that's okay.
Hmm.
Um, but like I told Tiny last week, Nick and I got into this because there needs
This.
to be more eyes on girls basketball in the shore conference.
Hmm.
Um, it's the best conference
Hmm.
in the state of New Jersey, and girls basketball in New Jersey is one of the best states in the country. So you need more representation at the shore conference, and girls basketball coverage has been lacking
Yeah.
locally.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why we got into it, was to put more eyes on the game.
Hmm.
And I enjoyed it. I had a great time
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah.
Met
I
a
had
lot
a.
of great people.
Yeah.
Um, got to reconnect with some people I haven't seen in a while. Got to watch some good basketball. Got to know some kids and parents, and it's been a pleasure. It really is. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to doing it again for soccer
Yeah.
and next basketball season as well.
Yeah. It was great. I thought I knew a lot of people, and then going to games with Doug's, I realized I don't know anybody. The amount of people Doug knows.
Well, Nick, I'm a short conference guy. I
Yeah.
grew up in Jackson. I went to,
But it was, like I said, I was on the fence coming back to basketball because, say a bad word, a lot of bullshit. And, we saw that the last couple of days.
especially
Um,
last night, second game.
but, there's a few families out there that, I've grown close to over the last 4 years. You know, Partnering with you, it only took what, a week for me I got excited again about doing it. I think
Yeah,
after the first weekend at WOBM,
yeah,
I was excited to doing this, and me and Doug we're going to continue. Probably going to start transitioning into just doing player and coaches interviews until we get close to soccer season,
yeah.
um, and which I am counting the days
Yeah.
for soccer.
And listen, if you want to come on and tell your story, and
Yeah,
you know get in touch with us. We've got a lot of time to fill. We're always
yeah,
looking to you know find out more about the players and coaches, and if we can help in any way, let us know.
yeah,
It's an added resource that you can lean on, and we'll be happy to help.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I have a list of. I mean, I am backed up. We are backed up with soccer interviews, which will start in a few weeks.
Mhm,
But yeah, me and Doug, we want to mix it up: basketball, soccer, coaches, players. You know,
mhm.
so anybody wants to get on, just reach out. Um, if you don't have my contact or Doug's, just talk to your coach because most coaches have my contact
Mhm.
info. And yeah, we'll probably talk briefly next week, maybe about the finals. But we're looking forward. I'll get somebody on. We'll do a player interview next week, and
Yeah,
we'll go for there. But congratulations all the players that had fantastic seasons. And good luck to all the seniors. Going on to the next level, um, playing, and the girls who careers might have ended. You said it a couple weeks ago, playing intramural sport, right?
yeah. Get into crew, do rowing. It's stay involved. Is all I can say is when you get to college, stay involved, do something. Uh, don't sit around and be a lazy slug like most of us did in college. And
Yeah.
go to class, take it seriously, and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. So, but yeah, congratulations everybody, and thank you for supporting. Me and Doug.
Yeah,
A
definitely.
lot of people came up to us at the games,
A lot of
saying,
positive feedback,
yeah,
and
which we like,
we
and
appreciate that.
definitely a big shout out to Dez at Broad Street Donuts. That
Yes,
that
yep.
was a that was a huge hit. I'm hoping to have some gift cards for the defensive player of the year, freshman of the year, and for Maddie.
Mhm.
And I'll get once I get in contact with her and we figure that out. I'll get them to your coaches.
Yep.
So, all right, guys, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and have a great, healthy AAU season, girls.
Yes, and enjoy the nice weather.
Yep.
Get outside and play basketball too.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, right.